Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Just Kelly Vlogs and I'm Kelly. And this is part 2 of Rhodel's interview. Sorry, I feel like I talk a lot with my hands, but it's just me. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and ramble for too long. You guys can check out part 2 or part 1. I'm linking it up somewhere around here. And I'm gonna also link it down below. But here's part 2. Rhodel has so much wisdom to share still, and we just had such a great time. So thank you, Rhodel, if you're watching this. I hope you are, because it's all about you. Thank you so much for letting me interview you and for, just being such a wise person. And yeah. So without further ado, here's the video, and I will see y'all in the next one. So I assume, at least the way that you were talking, but please tell me if I'm wrong, you haven't taken control in any of those situations. Okay, well this is actually perfect. So have you wanted to take control? Definitely. If you did, what did you do to refocus?
Literally 99.99999% times I've wanted to take control of everything. Mm-hmm. And I would literally tell the Lord, this does not make sense at all what you're doing. And I giving him suggestions and being like, why not this, Lord, or this, or just being like, all right, I'm gonna try this way, and then if you don't bless it, then you don't bless it.
Have you ever done the if you don't bless it, then I'm out? Or
yeah.
They're like, you have a deadline. It's not done by this time.
The deadline part is just like, Lord, I am putting you right in a square. So you have till March of 2021 to end this quarantine. But
how's that working out for you?
I'm not in control. But again, going back to, and I think just having a rich prayer life or communication life with God is really important, because putting that, taking that burden of control off of you is the most enriching and awesome thing. You don't have to worry about it. And so what I do when I do get to the point of realization that I'm not in control, and that takes a long periodically time. Yes, look up that meme. It takes a long time for me to get to that point, but when I am at that point, I do just let God take control, and I do ask God I don't understand things, help me to understand why you're doing it this way. And if it's something that you don't answer, that if you don't show me your way, then help me to be at peace with it. And that usually works for me. And that usually just quells my itch to have control. But I wouldn't say that it goes away. It comes back. And every time it comes back, I have to remind myself to pray that prayer until I do see a difference in the situation, and I'm asking God to show me what He's doing, or giving Him control in. So it just depends on His timeline, and just really just having a communication life with Him, and talking through things.
Yeah. All good answers for sure. And then last question, has there ever been a time in which you regretted devoting your life to Christ, and how did you handle that situation?
I wouldn't say regretted, but definitely struggled, just wondering if I should move on, keeping the faith. And I think going back to that, what we talked about is just remembering where the Lord took you from and where you're going, and is always easier to look to where you came from. It's harder to see where you're going. And if the Lord, I literally told myself this yesterday during my quiet time, but if the Lord took you from where you were and is moving to your direction, He's not going to leave you. One, because He loves you way too much to do that. And two, how many of us likes to start a project and not see the end of it when you've started something really beautiful and you're almost, not saying that you're almost to completion, but you've done phase 1 really perfect, phase 2 really perfect, and that's the Lord. Just everything is so perfect. I don't think, and the Bible does say the Lord is faithful to complete the work that He started, and so I don't believe the Lord would just stop. And so just holding on to that promise, just if I'm not there yet where the Lord wants me to. I'm looking at where I was before, which was far worse, or what I was going through while I was with the Lord. Like, how, like, that usually brings me back. Just like, there's no point in stopping now, you know?
Yeah.
It may be that you get your roses after, but it's just like seeing it through. Kind of let the project run, you know, and reevaluating too, just being like, where were you before Christ, or before your before a certain point in time, like your spiritual growth? Where were you? Did you like that person that you were, you know? Were you more sociable? Were you more whatever, fill in the blank? And almost 100% times it's just like, no, I didn't like who I was, or I was frustrated with this, and the Lord did this for me, you know? And so I think that usually snaps me back, and just remembering who the Lord is and what he said he would do, and holding him to that. Like, literally when I pray, I'm just like, Lord, remember you said this. Remember you said this. So that's what usually clicks me back. I've never gotten to a point where I'm just like, deuces. But I've gotten to the point where it's just like, why go through all of this? What's the struggle through all of this? And my answer is just it's so awesome to be with God. You know, it's so awesome to be with Jesus and be frustrated with him, and let him show you and help your understanding and your faith and your unbelief to the point where it does manifest to what you were created to do. So.
Yeah, cool. I like that. And that was the end of my questions. Do you have any questions for me or advice for me as a new Christian, or the viewers who may be going through anything?
My only comment I would say is that we are the creation, and the Creator created us to do something, and the only way to understand your full potential is giving him the opportunity to bring that potential out of you, you know? We don't know what we don't know our full potential, and letting God change your life is really awesome. And I don't regret it. I do get frustrated, but it's always come back to something beautiful, you know?
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, I would agree. Any questions for me?
Yeah, like what led you to do this project?
The vlog or the questions?
The questions.
Well, let me think back. So everyone knows I'm on a year of intentional singleness, and there was a moment where I was like, okay, I'm on this year of intentional singleness, but you know what happens afterwards? And so I tend to be a pessimistic person and go like, because I don't want to get my hopes up high and then be, you know, let down. And so I convinced myself that God wasn't going to provide that. And I was like, so then why am I even doing this? And I just felt like he was saying like, no, not yet, not right now, which I am a super impatient person. Like, patience is not my virtue. I don't know how I'm going to make it my virtue, but it's 100% not my virtue. And so I was just really frustrated and was just like, kind of ranting like to God and then some friends. And then I was like, you know what? I have these hard questions. And then I figured I'd ask you guys. And honestly, it was a really great decision, because I feel like I've interviewed some of you guys off camera. I've interviewed now 2 of you guys on camera. And everything you guys have to say is super reassuring. And I think it's like helping to guide me. So yeah, I'm glad I'm asking the questions. Not super proud of the point that I was at when I was asking these questions, but I'm glad that I was able to. I'm still going through parts of it, but I feel like I found little tools, like even yesterday or like a couple days ago, I found like Psalm 37.
Psalm 37, I just watched it, yeah.
The 4 to 5, I found that, and I was like, oh, I can't remember all of it, but it's basically like God's going to provide like the things that you want. And I was like, okay, so then he will provide me with someone that I want. It's just not now, which sometimes that gives me peace and sometimes that frustrates me. Right now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, that gives me peace. I'm good. So.
Yeah. I read that just yesterday.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then Psalms 147, don't quote me. 145, sorry. 145. It talks about like God fulfills the desires of those who fear him and seek him. So it's just like, it's really cool that God doesn't just let you just ramble along with the desires of your heart, just being like, oh, I have these desires and nothing to do with them. And it's just like, no, God will fulfill them. Just wait on him. He's not slow. And sometimes it seems like he's kind of slow, but it's like literally works itself out in time.
I think we also have to remember that God's not a genie. Like, he's not just, we're not like, I want this right now. And he's going to be like, pop, here you go. Like, if he did that, it wouldn't be worth it. It wouldn't mean as much to us. Because if you think about it, like, you know, all the great things, like I'm thinking about like working out. Like if you've got a weight, like in mind, that like a goal that you want to get to, you don't just like snap your fingers and you get down to that weight. Like, working out is what gets you there. And once you get there, you're like, oh my goodness. And then you work so much harder to stay in that goal that you have.
Or the plate of food that you stressed over, making a dish. Like, you have to cut your onions, you have to cut your bell peppers.
And you cry with the onions.
You cry with the onions. You don't just magically end up with a 5-course meal. You have to work for it.
Or you just have Rhodel cook it and then you're fine. So just saying. He's a really good cook.
No, I'm not. I burn water.
That's it. He's lying.
Maybe.
He's lying. Don't lie. That's one of the 10 Commandments, right?
God's working on me.
All right, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks, Rhodel, for being on the vlog. This was actually really insightful. And I'm super happy that this happened. If you like what we had to say, you know, please comment down below if you want to see more of Rhodel. If you don't, then like just tell me also, and I'll just never get him back.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
Also just, again, thanks for tuning in. Please share, like, and subscribe if you feel this is going to resonate with anybody else. That's the point of the vlog, to reach people and get the word out there. So.
Yeah, share it. This lady's amazing.
Aw, thanks. It's the nicest thing you've ever said.
The only nice thing.
Watch the camera come off and it's over.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be like, I take it back.
Yeah, that's definitely what I would say.
It's alright.
Yep.
Anyway, peace.
Peace, chicken grease.